Plymouth is taking an innovative approach to how it inventories its trees. As Delane Cleveland reports, it's an important step to combat tree diseases by doing something no other city in Minnesota has done before.
As you look at this big maple right here, there's woodpeckers already pecking and using that as a home.
There are nearly 40,000 trees scattered throughout the city of Plymouth, according to city forester Paul Buck.
Probably the most impactful part for most people's lives.
They provide shade, help beautify neighborhoods, and are important for wildlife.
All those added benefits, it's hard to quantify them. You know it when you see it. When you know, people pay more for a wooded lot than they do for a field lot.
However, in 2015, the destructive emerald ash borer insect began wreaking havoc on the city's ash trees.
By using only one species, nature finds a way to slap your hand and say, nope, shouldn't have done that.
The city needed to treat or, in many cases, remove those trees, but they didn't have an updated inventory.
So we need to know where they are, we need to know how many. How big are they? What are we going to have to deal with?
It's a tall task to do with the naked eye, which is why, going forward, the city plans to do what's called a smart tree inventory. It's where a car equipped with a camera would drive through Plymouth and use artificial intelligence to take a digital inventory of every tree in the city, while also identifying deficiencies in the canopy.
It is basically, think of the Google car. That's what it's going to be doing. It's going to be sending out LiDAR. It's going to collect the information of that tree down to even the smallest branch.
It's the kind of information that will not only make Paul Buck's job easier, but every city forester that comes after him.
30 years ago, I couldn't imagine this, but now that I've seen it, I fully think we should embrace this technology to make everybody more efficient.
In Plymouth, Delane Cleveland, CCX News.
The Plymouth City Council unanimously approved the contract to implement the smart tree inventory. It will cost the city about $80,000 a year for the next 4 years. Data collection will begin this winter. The Brooklyn Center Fire Department is mourning the loss of the city's first full-time fire chief. Former Brooklyn Center Fire Chief Ron Bowman passed away earlier this month. Bowman served Brooklyn Center for 39 years, 31 of those as fire chief. According to the fire department, Bowman also founded rescue teams and taught fire education courses at Hennepin Technical College. A funeral service is scheduled for Monday, November 18th at 11 a.m. at New Hope Church, with visitation 1 hour prior to the service. Ron Bowman was 86 years old. If you're wondering why city council meetings in both Brooklyn Park and Brooklyn Center weren't held Tuesday night, it's because there was a lack of quorum. That means a majority of council members required to conduct meetings were not present. In Brooklyn Park, at least 4 are required. For Brooklyn Center, 3 are needed. Brooklyn Park rescheduled its meeting to next Monday, with an additional meeting to be held Friday to canvass election results. The Osseo City Council has approved the hire of an assistant city administrator. The hire, however, did not come without passionate debate.
We're paying somebody $100,000 a year plus benefits with no experience in planning to be the city planner, no experience as an assistant city administrator to be an assistant city administrator, and if something happens to him, then that person is then the city administrator.
Whether or not everybody has all the specific experience that we require that people think they need at that point in time, people can evolve. Everybody that we've ever hired has evolved. And so I believe that Alicia is exactly who our city needs.
Councilmember Mark Schulz is referring to Alicia Vickerman, who resigned from the city council this summer to pursue professional opportunities. That opportunity was working for Osseo. Tuesday's discussion also became emotional. Councilmember Juliana Holtstrom said Vickerman told her this was her dream job.
I believe that you deserve your dream job. I believe Osseo deserves to see you rise in your dream job.
Mayor Dwayne Poppy, who serves on the HR committee, said the job is bigger than zoning and planning, which he said some in the community are hung up on. In the end, Osseo voted 4-1, approving Vickerman's hire. Maple Grove certainly looks different than it did years ago. What was once farmland is now urban area. But as Sarah Allen reports, in the heart of the city, you'll find an organic farm that's holding on to the way life used to be.
It's an L, so it goes all the way over to Nottingham Park and Playground.
This is where Ryan and Tanya Denny are raising their 4 kids.
It's the Three Rivers Park District all behind us.
It's also where you'll find one of the last traces of farmland in Maple Grove.
People are extremely interested in it, and they're just kind of flabbergasted that there's even a farm out in Maple Grove still.
The Dennys stumbled across the sale listing for the one-of-a-kind property at just the right time.
It was the midst of COVID. We had a 3-year-old and 1-year-old triplets. So it was one of those where looking back, almost don't know what we were thinking, but it ended up being such a blessing, especially during COVID, being able to let the kids go out and play, have space to run around.
The farm brought a lot of open space, but also some challenges.
This is fly by the seat of your pants, yep.
The couple didn't have farming experience.
I actually work full-time in medical device. Ryan has a construction company.
But family has stepped in to help, and the previous owners offered guidance.
They kind of gave us the rundown of, what to expect. There's a lot of moving parts in this property.
The Dennys have learned to live on the land. They've kept sheep and grown crops. Currently, they're harvesting honey.
There's a solid couple weeks where we're perpetually covered in honey.
And maple syrup.
We still do it kind of the old school way of hanging the bag.
Over the years, developers have expressed interest in the property, but the family isn't selling. They want to pass it on to their kids and continue its farming legacy.
We want to be able to hold on to this, really preserve the beauty, the land, keep one kind of glimmer of what Maple Grove used to be.
Reporting in Maple Grove, Sarah Allen, CCX News.
One team is just 2 wins away from a Class 6A football championship. Top-ranked Maple Grove hopes and believes it can be them. We caught up with the Crimson earlier this week as they prepare for Friday night's state semifinal. With the last of outdoor football behind them for the season, the Crimson moved indoors this week as they get ready to play at US Bank Stadium. No elements to worry about, and that should help Maple Grove.
I don't think it'll hurt us, that is for sure. Both teams are running type teams though. I do feel like we can throw the ball better than they can, and so being indoors with no elements to worry about, I think that is to our advantage.
A handful of Crimson players were on the 2022 state championship team and have an idea of what to expect at US Bank.
I think it's an advantage. We've been there a lot. We know how it works. We know the climate, the temperature. Big crowd will come with us. It'll be fun.
It's going to be a blast. I mean, I've never been because I wasn't on the team 2 years ago. But yeah, I'm super excited.
As the playoffs go on, the games, as you would expect, get tougher. This week, Maple Grove faces second-ranked Shakopee, a 10-1 team with a good defense and a punishing running attack.
To me, they're probably a mixture of Centennial and Eden Prairie. They're Centennial in the fact that they're an option-type team. Eden Prairie in the fact that mentality-wise, they want to run downhill and run first.
They're pretty good. They run the option. We got to be able to figure that out, decode that, but I think we'll be all right if we're able to do that.
The Crimson has outscored ranked opponents Eden Prairie and Edina 76-12 over the past 2 weeks. He believes the march to a title can continue if they play at their best.
I think we're playing really well right now. I think the most important part is Monday through Thursday preparing for the game, and every step counts, leading up to the game.
Kickoff from Maple Grove and Shakopee is scheduled for 7:30 p.m. Friday. CCX will televise the game on a tape-delayed basis per Minnesota State High School League rules. Totino-Grace football is getting ready for their state semifinal matchup. Chaz Moot stopped by an Eagles practice this week and has more.
Totino-Grace football is still practicing outside, but will be inside later this week, playing at US Bank Stadium for the first time since 2016.
I mean, it's always been a dream for a lot of our players. We've always been together, even at other schools. And so just being able to play at the bank together for our last year is definitely something that's highly important to us.
It feels great to be here this far, but making to the bank wasn't the goal. The goal is to win it all, so it's just another week of football for us.
After shutting out Hill Murray in the Class 4A state quarterfinals, the Eagles are preparing for a rematch with Orono. Back in Week 7, TG beat the Spartans on a last-minute halfback pass touchdown. It was a low-scoring 11-8 win for the Eagles in a grinder of a game.
Super physical. They're a big physical team. They do a lot of things really well. They're well coached, so we know going into it, it's just going to be a dogfight.
As a whole, Totino-Grace had success on both sides of the ball against Orono, but they hope to sustain that success better this time around at the bank.
We got to start strong, and then we got to finish every single play and finish every drive, because executing is going to be the most important thing for us offensively.
Safeties and corners and linebackers are all quick, really fast at getting to the ball. Their linemen, they're big and they're very, very versatile, so they can move with us.
Everyone's got a job to do, stay our position, stay in our zones, because first time around we had a lot of missed coverages, and that led to a lot of big plays of that. Just execute.
TG's 3-point win over Orono and 1-point win over Hutchinson were their only one-score games this season. They'll head into the Class 4A state semifinal with a perfect 11-0 record. In Fridley, Chaz Moats, CCX Sports.
Totino-Grace and Orono will kick off on Friday morning at 11:30 at US Bank Stadium. The last time the Eagles played at the bank was when they won the Class 6A Prep Bowl in 2016. Find more prep sports games and highlights at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.